welcome to Tarot Me More. It's the at-home edition. Can't go to the beach today, sorry guys. But it is Wednesday, which is always Leo Virgo Day. And I've already shuffled, put a little energy on it. And we've already done the quickies, and we also have a heart spread for someone that's coupled, or if you just have someone on your mind. The single spread is I call for super singles now, and this is for someone that's single, but you want the right person. You don't want the next ex-wife, the next ex-husband, boyfriend, girlfriend. You want the one, and your soulmates. That spirit source has for you. So we're going to ask Tarot that question. I'm not going to mess around here. Give us the one that's for you. And I'm going to expand this spread a little bit today. It's a little bit different anyway, okay? We used 4 pillars. We look at the emotional, intellectual, the sexual, love, and core value and lifestyle areas, the 4 pillars of a relationship with me. We kind of try to get a read on who your person is, okay? Bring them down, go out on a date with them, get to know them a little bit. And so bear with me on the interpretations are a little different. This is their emotional nature. I'm going to go to 3 cards now. We have the Star, the Knight of Swords, and the Nine of Swords, okay? And their emotional nature. Intellectually, the Knight of Cups, Temperance, and Justice. And everybody will go back, take a look at all this. Sexually, 5 of Pentacles, the Moon, and the Tower. Now, don't freak out over the Tower, because it's going to be different here, because this is your person, we know that. What we're trying to get at is what is their underlying nature. I don't so much look at how they look. Sometimes it comes through. It's the kind of way I am. I tend to look at this person, their soul purpose and path, and particularly emotionally, psychologically. And now we're going to look at their Nine of Cups. This is their core values and their lifestyle. 9 of Cups with the Knight of Wands and the 9 of Pentacles here, guys. Okay, you don't weigh the bottom deck at all here. I don't usually clarify this read. We'll see. So let's get a look here, guys. It's like we cleared the deck, we cleared the a lane for them, brought down their plane, landed it, because they've probably been circling around because they can't get to you. But now you got this moment where you're open and they're coming in, and the first thing that really stands out is the Star. When I look at this top row, or the main energy that they're bringing, and Aquarius energy, but emotionally, they could have like an air moon or an Aquarius moon. I do look at the astrologer and astrologer. I'll do synastry. And you got the Knight of Swords and the 9 of Swords. This is someone, remember this is your person, okay? Nobody's perfect. But outwardly, they present with a lot of hope, and they probably talk about being positive, and maybe they are, but inwardly they have struggled a lot and have a lot of self-doubt. And usually with this, the Nine of Swords, the Knight of Swords, this is where you see the childhood too. And so they had a difficult childhood. I think they were lonely. They may have been an only child, or they didn't have much of a relationship with their siblings, or they were the scapegoat child, or the black sheep child. And they may tell you this, because we look for their stories. They may talk about this. But it's going to take a minute, because emotionally, they keep this underneath. They present this side of them that's more hopeful and bright-eyed. They might even have, with the Star card, a brightness to their eyes, a twinkle in their eyes. Just in general, maybe especially for you. So Leo, let's see. They may have, like in their childhood too, maybe they couldn't go out for some reason. They may have had sickness or something. Um, and there's a desire in them to speak their mind, and maybe to speak about what happened to them in the past. So I think they're going to talk about this, and they may talk about this anyway. They may blog about, in some common adult children of alcoholics. It's for children that not alcoholics, but children that grew up in a dysfunctional environment. Doesn't even have to be alcoholism. Funny how often that's involved. Not funny, haha. But they may talk about this like sort of like their mission. Okay. And then intellectually, how would they be set up to talk about this? It's like super balanced intellectually. So they're not standing out as I've said in other, because I'm trying to look for something we're going to kind of recognize them and what stories they might tell. And the intellectual part will talk about how they speak to and how they communicate, tend to. So there's nothing showy about them, but they are charming and disarming, and genuinely so. It's not a facade. I mean, they are generally charming and nice and very patient. And with the temperance and justice, particularly in the Knight of Cups, there can be emotional in their thinking. When I said they might have an air moon, guys, so a lot of times what happens, they kind of think their emotions. Boy, I got a Cancer moon and I'm in Scorpio rising, so man, have I dealt with this? It's really hard for us to deal with people like this. It's like one of those things in synastry. There's nothing wrong with either one, but boy, you put them together. Because almost when you talk to them about their feelings, you might even want to use the word think. What do you think about this instead of what do you feel about this? Because if you ask them what do they feel about it, they might not have an answer. But if you ask them what they think about it, they will definitely have an answer. And then you can kind of that's how I deal with Aquarius moons. I'll tell you my secret. And then you just sort of got to insert emotion back into it. In other words, by understanding how people work and maybe a little bit how they work, you can kind of have to imagine what the emotion of that statement is. A bit awkward there. But with the temperance and the justice, they're going to really listen and they're going to present like they really care. So when you're talking to them and interacting with them, I mean, they're going to be looking at you in the eyes. Their cell phone's going to be off to the side or in their purse or something. And they're going to be focused on you. And they're going to be very fair. So, intellectually, and like in the way they fight too, this is good. They're going to fight fair. Intellectually, they're fair. They're not real egoistic. I think that what's a temperance here and justice here. So when they're communicating and when they're listening, they're really listening. So like I'm a Mercury in Sag, and so it's a perennial thing with me. It's like I'm in my own mind, and you're talking in tangent. I'm going up, thinking you wouldn't even want to know the stuff I'm thinking of. Just connections. But this person, when you're talking, they're listening to what you're saying and trying to understand it and put it in perspective. And they're not thinking about what they want to say next. They're not thinking about what it means to them so much as they're trying to figure out what does it mean to you. And so they have a very good emotional understanding. And this might be what they write about, whether they blog or have a business. We'll look at that again in their lifestyle. They're well prepared for this, because the one good thing about the air moons and stuff, you have emotionally, you're a little detached, so you don't get like a Cancer moon. It's a nightmare. It's like every feeling just rises up and just swamps me like it's the world, and it's hard for me to say to myself, well, David, it's just a feeling. Like 5 minutes from now, you'd be feeling something different. It doesn't, I'm just like, to me, it's like the end of the world and I'm just going to die. And I think when you have that air kind of energy, you have that detachment and you can put things a lot more into perspective. And intellectually, I see them like they're this combination. They're really good at, like, they could listen to you and understand you, and then probably only if you ask, then they can come in, and really put things in perspective for you. Emotionally, in terms of life, this is someone they're aware. It's good you're on tarot. I mean, they're not going to be probably unfamiliar with tarot. They might not be deep into it, but they're probably open to the esoteric things and to the whole spiritual viewpoint. They're definitely intellectually looking at things from a higher perspective. They're not low vibing at all, kind of high vibing. And so let's skip the sex for a minute. Still thinking about it. The tower's down there. And go to their lifestyle and their core values here. It's often related to the emotional part too, and the intellectual course. Unless they're sex workers, sex doesn't usually play too much into that. And they're not, that I see. And with the Nine of Cups there, with the star, that's really good. Like I said, they are genuinely hopeful and positive, but it's just they're dealing with this underlying, they had to really work to make that stick, It's like that energy of Stuart Smiley. I'm good enough and I'm smart enough and people love me. And the first 1,000 times it doesn't do any good, and then it takes, and you actually begin to believe that. So they might have went through that process, but now they're the kind of person with the star and the Nine of Cups. They're going to want to go out and have fun, number one, like in terms of the household. They're not going to want to just stay at home, because you got the Knight of Wands there too. The Nine of Pentacles is your homie. They like nice things, and they want a nice home, and they don't mind working for it, but you got Nine of Pentacles here and Nine of Cups. It's like they want it all. They want emotional satisfaction, be emotionally fulfilled. They want to be able to be themselves with the star and the Nine of Cups, and they will be, because it's your soulmate. And so that aspect of it is going to mean a lot to them. It might be what this Five of Pentacles is in the sex. It's like, if they don't feel like they have it all, it's like maybe they don't want to invest anything into it. And if they feel like they have it all, then they're going to put their energy into it. So this is creating a home that is not only beautiful, and a comfortable home, secure home, financial stability, but also having that emotional stability. So again, they're going to value all hell out of a soulmate relationship. There's not twin flame stuff here. This is your soulmate, someone you're comfortable with, okay? And hold on, I heard somebody knocking. I did hear someone knocking. So keep that in mind. Who's knocking? Love and light. Surrounded by light here. Only working from the highest good. We don't have any worries. But let's think about that. A little bit of an emphasis. So yeah, you'll find them, it's like they need to have this kind of alignment. And then when they have it, boy, they can take action with this Knight of Wands. So a Knight of Wands here, they could be a person that could have been an ex-soldier or a policeman, policewoman. They really care about the home. Even though this is your out partying card, they want, when they get home, they want to be not only nice and comfortable, they want to be really relaxed in like their castle. They might have a bar, because got to realize, I mean a lot to them, have a nice bar, or even like, if it's a man, they might want a man cave, because that's what's going to make them feel good. And with the Knight of Wands, I think they'll tell you a story in the past where they've taken chances in their career. So, imagine them when they were younger, in that sixth house energy, where you're learning to be yourself, and where are you in the world? What's in the world? What do I want to do with myself? That college age, high school into college age. So they were really thinking, like, what makes me happy and what gives me money? What will bring me security and what will make me fulfilled as a person? Because you could give them a job making $30 an hour somewhere doing something they don't really give a shit about, and that they're not really going to get all excited about that, you know. Or you could give them something that was super fulfilling. Maybe they want to go and pet dogs all day at a dog shelter, but it doesn't make a lot of money, but makes them really happy. You know, that's not going to get them going when they get to both. So they're going to tell you a story about how they got both. I think they did. This Knight of Wands going to get it. They're going to get it. They're going to have the energy for it, the passion for it, the charisma for it, the force for it. You know, that they don't have fear. Knight of Wands is fearless. That's the fearless knight. Doesn't give a shit. You know. So once they feel this energy is balanced and they see they have a chance to get what they want and it's balanced and it's for them, it's like they'll put in whatever they need to do it. And then, so they'll probably tell you a story about taking chances in your career. Maybe it took a little bit of the knight had to go out there and find his way and make his way, her way in the world to get this balance that they want. And then sexually, I gotta go. You see, they're your person. So I'm never afraid to say hard things. I want to put this in the proper perspective here as your soulmate. You know, so they've done this work, okay? They've got themselves in a pretty good place here. But sexually, they might struggle a little bit. You know, I would be real careful. Here's your soulmate. Never say anything. This is kind of good advice anyway for any relationship, because there's no value in saying something negative to someone sexually. You know, believe me, I know if you have to talk about it, you're almost fucked if you have to talk about it sexually. But if you do, you know, putting it in some kind of terms, because that Five of Pentacles right at the top, they're dealing with the lack mentality. This is from their childhood and something they've been dealing with all their life. Now, I think they dealt with it really well. You got the Nine of Cups here, the Nine of Pentacles here, the Star, the Knight of Cups. I mean, they've dealt with it really well. But I think maybe sexually, they're particularly still vulnerable, okay? Because that's a soft underside here. So you're going to be extra gentle with them sexually. They may have performance issues. They're definitely not going to go to bed easily or quickly. When they have sex, or maybe particularly when they have an orgasm, you can talk to them about this. With the Tower and the Moon, it's like maybe they don't like orgasming. Maybe they don't like losing themselves, you know. And there may be something too with the Moon and the Five of Pentacles and the Tower, where sex has just not been that good for them. You know, it's funny. Sometimes we don't know what we want until we get it, and sometimes even if you have kind of a lot of sex, you just still don't get that right energy. But maybe they even haven't had a lot of sex, and when they have, like, it's been kind of a disaster for them. The partners may have been critical of them. I think too, when they make love, there's this Moon. It's kind of a fearful experience for them. I'm gonna cry a little bit. Yeah, it's frustrating probably, because even if they love you and they're turned on and they want to make love, there's that shit that's still there, you know, that's down inside from this Tower down here at the very bottom, down here with the Nine of Swords, where they want justice. You know, why do you want justice so much? You know, because you didn't have justice as a child. It means something to you now, right? And they want the Nine of Pentacles. They want to be strong. They don't want to be this Tower position. They want to be the Nine of Pentacles, a strong, happy, individuated person that's in control of their lives. So, you know, with the sex, I'd say it's just going to be delicate, and you being their soulmate, holy shit, they're going to once they make love to you, it's probably going to be such a relief to them. I guarantee you they're going to say it was the best sex of their life, because sex to them is super tied up into emotions, Without the emotional aspect of it, there's absolutely nothing for them. It's just completely meaningless. All right, guys, so thank you, Virgo friends. This is from the third week in April. You're singles, and we'll see you next time. Like, share, subscribe. Like is easy, and it's good karma.